Hey guys, Hecon's here with another World of Warcraft gold making guide. One of my guildies asked me last week how I balance working full-time with raiding and gold making in WoW. A patron also wanted to know what my daily routine looks like, so in today's video, I thought I would go over what I do during the week to make gold. So it's around 7:40 AM Pacific, and I'm going to quickly go over my morning routine. The first thing we're going to do is shop for cheap mats. This is the string that I like to use for looking up Mist of Pandaria materials and the price of panthers. So the colored panthers are at around 43k, and the jeweled onyx is at around 175. Generally, I like to try and get my Spirit of Harmonies for under 200 gold. It looks like there's 29 listed at 200, so I'm probably going to end up buying these out. There's also 7 stacks of 10 and 1 stack of 4 for the mote of harmonies at 20 gold. Remember that you can take 10 of these and combine them into one spirit, so if you're trying to get spirits for under 200, you can also buy motes for under 20. So why don't we go ahead and buy those. So you have to work out the math on your realm, but buying the motes and spirits for 20 gold or 200 gold on this realm is going to make the panthers quite profitable, so these are good buys. Alright, I think I got those all. Yep. So next we're going to look at the prices of enchants, as well as the prices of the veiled crystals, umbra shards, and gloom dust. So it looks like all of my enchants actually got undercut, so we're going to have to go back and relist those. The veiled crystals are currently sitting at between 625 gold and 700. There's a bunch at 1k plus, but that's way too expensive, so we're never going to buy those. As far as the veiled crystals, I picked up a bunch at 500, and if you look at my bags, I'm actually sitting on a little over 300 of those, so we don't need to restock. And for the umbra shards and gloom dust, I can shuffle my own, using a bunch of the cloth that I picked up for cheap and leather I picked up for cheap, so we're not going to buy any of the enchanting materials. We're just going to relist our auctions later for the enchants.
Have anything ancient to trade?
So next we're going to take a look at the prices of bloodstained bone and tidespray linen. Remember that you need 10 of the linen to make a bracer, and then for the leatherworking bracers you need 4 of the bloodstained bones, and then either 6 shimmerscale or 6 of the leather. I generally try and pick up my linen at under 10 gold. That way each bracer costs around 100 gold to make. And then for the bloodstained bones, I usually like to pick those up for under 25, so I'm going to purchase these. There's only 13 at under 25. Next we're going to take a look at the prices of herbs. I haven't really been making gold with alchemy this expansion, so I'm generally just focusing on picking up herbs for inscription. And anything under 10 gold is really good, I think. Of course, it depends on the prices of the decks on your realm, but anything under 10 is usually a good buy. So I'm probably going to buy up all the Winter's Kiss up to here. And then it looks like there's some star moss at under 10 gold as well, so I'll buy those out. Alright, I think that's all of them. And if I was low on herbs, I'd definitely buy out some of these at around 11 gold. It's only 1 gold more per herb, which isn't very much. The decks are quite profitable in my realm, so even if I'm paying 11 gold per herb, I'm still going to be making a ton of gold anyways. But those are the main mats that I look at. Sometimes if I'm running low on feast, I'll look at the feast mats as well. And all these strings that I'm using, I'll try and leave in the description below. Or maybe even include a link to a paste bin or something and throw those up. And if you're a blacksmith or something, you might also look at the prices of herbs, or prices of ore rather. And then I use these strings for the Dark Moon decks if I'm missing a few cards, and if they're low enough, I'll buy them to complete decks, but generally I prefer just making my own.
If you find anything exotic, bring it to me.
Yep, so those are all of our purchases from today. I'm going to be switching tunes and showing you guys what I do with the relisting. So next we're going to relist our expired auctions, as well as anything that got undercut overnight.
Have anything ancient to trade? Needs to be at least 2
So all the
centuries
enchants
old.
got undercut, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel those. It looks like I ended up selling a blockades for 45k about 40 minutes ago, which is awesome. We're gonna probably cancel these BOEs as well and relist those. So we have no auctions up currently, so
If you find anything exotic, bring it to me.
quite a few canceled and expired auctions that I need to collect.
Have anything ancient to trade? Needs to be at least 2 centuries old.
So I don't have any of the shopping operations on this computer, so no, I'm just gonna relist my BOEs, and then actually I think I can do the Dark Moon decks manually as well. Shouldn't take very long. Squalls is at around 42, so it's fine. I actually have a bunch of other decks made that I need to transfer over to this account. Oh, remember to list at either 12-hour or 24-hour. If you're off to work or school and you get home in the afternoon, 12-hour would be pretty reasonable, I would assume. And if you're like going out with friends after work or after school, maybe you relist for 24 hours. But I generally check in on my auctions during lunch, so I'm just going to relist mine for 12 hours. I did accidentally list the squalls at 48, but it should be fine.
Have anything ancient to trade? Needs to be at
Fathens.
least 2 centuries old.
A little under 82. I think I'm undercutting by like 5% or something, so. As I said, I don't really do the relisting on this computer. I do it on my laptop, so. Even Auctioneer isn't set up on this computer. It's
Have
actually a
anything
pain
ancient to
relisting with that
trade?
TSM.
Needs to be at least 2 centuries old.
Stuff like the BOEs I can handle, but relisting a bunch of enchants and Darkmoon decks is much faster with TSM. So this T-Boost is expiring in 30 minutes, so I think I'm going to list mine for a bit higher. Let's go 250 for the 350. And then I'll relist my 355 for... Let's do 350. And this one has a socket in it. That one does not have a socket in it, so... We'll list the two without the socket and undercut this auction. And then... probably add like 20k for the socket. So we'll go like 135. Pretty good. And then all the other enchants I'll just do on my laptop when I have time. So it's now 1:45. I did end up relisting my auctions after having a late lunch, and I wanted to show off my sales. Everything above the Fathom sales here at 78.4k are sales from this morning. Everything that we relisted earlier. Had some really solid sales on the Darkmoon decks. Sold the blockades for 42.7k. Squalls. Sold 2 of those for 30.8k. And then 2 tides as well for 21.3k. And then some enchant sales. Fathom sales is pretty low. They're down to around 60k now. But I do have a ton made, so... even selling at 60 is quite profitable, so I'm okay with that. And then we did sell 1 BOE that we relisted this morning. The Glaive's Angular Glaive. Sold for 134.4k after the auction house cut. I actually found 2 of these for 50k, so... it's almost 100k profit. I did actually sell the other one for 134.3k. I think it's buried in either page 2 or page 3, but we'll go through all these sales in another video. As you guys can see, I sold a bunch of other BOEs as well for around 150. 133 after the auction house cut for this one, 142.5 for this one. Yeah, lots of Darkmoon deck sales as well. Just like my other realms. And as I said, I did shuffle a bunch over the weekend. I wasn't out too late, so I spent most of my evenings just watching TV shows and shuffling for Expulsum. Anyways, that's all I wanted to show you guys. And I generally have my laptop with me if I'm out, so I can check on my auctions during lunch, relist if I need to. Obviously, if you don't have access to a computer at work or at school, that's not going to be an option, but shouldn't matter too much. As I said, I only had maybe 300k worth of sales since I relisted this morning. And the bulk of my sales are usually made in the afternoons or evenings during the peak time. So it's 8:20 p.m. on Tuesday evening. I was actually going to record this segment last night, but I was out and didn't have time to do it, so I'm just going to do it tonight. I did copy over a few of my groups and operations to show you guys what I do to relist. As you guys know, this is my second account, so while I'm in raid during the week, I'm using this account to relist all my auctions. And on this realm, these are the two main ones that I use. The operations for relisting the enchants and relisting the Dark Moon decks. I do have one for relisting at night and one during the day. This one's just listing 2 at 12 hours. So, shorter duration and only 2. This makes it a lot easier to cancel and relist. Whereas if I'm relisting before I go to bed or before I go to work or something, I'm using this one. The auction duration is set to 24 hours for that, and post cap is set to 5, so we're listing 3 more and at double the duration. The enchants aren't as expensive to relist, so for the rings I'm just doing 4 enchants at 12 hours, and then for the weapon enchants I'm doing 5 enchants, same 12 hours.
Have anything ancient to trade? Needs to be at least.
And this is what it looks like when I have the auction house full. A lot of the Dark Moon decks expired, so the prices kind of got reset, just naturally from none being up on the auction house. The enchants are holding pretty steady at around probably like 1k all the way up to 4k for the ring enchants. It actually looks like I need to relist some of the ones that I sold. The Pact of Mastery, it looks like I'm sold out of those. And I'm down to 1 Pact of Haste. So I have the Enchanter on my main account, so normally between either like trash pulls or even during a break or something, I'll recraft what I need, mail myself the enchants to this account, and then throw those up. Pretty straightforward, I think. I'm only focusing on 2 markets on this account, so it's pretty easy to keep track of. Can run a quick cancel scan. So it looks like nothing's been undercut, which is great. But we do need to restock, so I'm going to hop on my main account and send over some enchants. So in the middle of restocking, I did run out of the gloom dust, and I am running low on umbra shards, so I'm going to do a little bit of shuffling tonight, and I wanted to show you guys what that entails. So this is one of my mules. Anytime I find any cheap mats, I buy them out and mail it to this account. As you guys can see, the guild bank's full of cloth and leather. And the bloodstained bones that I use for shuffling bracers. So we're going to mail some of these over to my leather worker and shuffle some bracers. So I just ran a cancel scan and relisted all the auctions that got undercut. So I'm now ready to craft bracers and shuffle. This is another reason why having a second account's really useful. I can craft the bracers on here, mail them to my main account, and disenchant them there. Definitely going to make things more efficient and save a lot of time. And this is the same tune that's relisting all of my auctions, so when I'm not running cancel scans, she can craft the bracers and mail them to my main account. Remember that I'm picking up the bloodstained bones for under 25 gold, so the bracers cost around 100 gold to craft. Between 15 to 20% of those are going to yield a umbra shard, and then any of the greens usually yield between 5 to 9 of the gloom dust, so you can figure out what the cost is on your realm, but it's quite profitable on my realm. And all the shuffling I can do while I'm watching TV or something, so it's not a big deal. So that's generally my routine during the week, as far as the auction house on WoW. Now we're going to check out my mailbox really quick and seeing how much gold I make. I think there's around 10 days worth of auctions in my mailbox, but there's around 4 pages worth, and we'll see on page 4. So here's page 1. Their first 50 auctions of 193. And we have around 1.5 million gold in the mailbox. As I said earlier, the Dark Moon decks kind of naturally reset, and I'm really glad since the Fathoms were down to 60k, which is actually pretty low, even for my realm. We had some pretty solid sales on some BOEs. The splatter guards, I think I picked these up for between 20 to 30k, so not a huge profit, but 10k is really nice. The Landor Scrutiny is the Agi Trinket. Managed to sell that one for 71.2k. I actually have a second one up on the auction house. I grabbed one for 48k, and the second one was a drop for me. I think I was running like a dungeon or something last week. I did send out a tweet about it, I think on maybe like Thursday or Friday, so can't complain about a free 71k. And then a bunch more Dark Moon deck sales, weapon enchants, ring enchants. Next big BOE sale is this Glaive's Angular Glaive. Sold that one for 134.4k. I think I actually mentioned it in yesterday's segment. It's one of the auctions that we relisted in the morning. Really nice sale. I picked up 2 of those for 50k, so that's a really nice, like 80k profit on that one. And I believe I sold the second one for around 134 as well, so what is that? Spent 100k and made back 270, so nice 170k profit just from 2 BOEs. And then on this page, it looks like I sold 2 other BOEs, the Cairns Blade of the Wolves. Got 133k for that. Says I bought 2 at 79k, so pretty much double my gold on that one. And then the Decapitator of Ali Reza. I don't know how to pronounce that, but got 142.5k for those. I usually write down how much I paid for BOEs, but I can't find this one, but I imagine I got it for pretty cheap. Definitely wouldn't have paid like over 100k for any of the BOEs, so I'm going to assume a really nice profit. The purchase is probably logged in my TSM on my laptop, so I'll see how much I paid and probably like edit it in. And we had one sale come in, just another enchant, the masteries that we sold earlier. So that's page 1. I'm going to go ahead and loot all of this, and then we'll take a look at page 2. So this is page 2. The next 50 auctions of 143. As you guys can see, there aren't very many sales from the weekend. As I said in yesterday's segment, I was gone most of Saturday and Sunday. Just hanging out with friends downtown, doing a little shopping, so... Didn't have very much time to hop on WoW until I got home. So slim sales over the weekend, but... Still managed to hit 1.2 mil on page 2, which is really decent. A lot of Dark Moon deck sales. We sold that second cairn, Blade of the Wolves. This one for 161.5k. If my notes are correct, I paid 79k for each one, so that works out to 158 cost basis. Sold the other one for 153. No, it was 133. And then sold this one for 161, so... What is that? Spent around 160k and made back 300k, so... Like a 140k profit. The test subject shackles... These are the bracers I think I picked up for like 30 or 35k. Not a huge profit, but I have two others that I have listed on the auction house for, I think, 50. Next BOE sale is... Oh, the Shoetoff's Ruler. It's one of the other two-handers. And I managed to get 84.6k for that one. And I ended up paying 46k for that BOE, so... Pretty close to a 40k profit, which isn't too bad. So here's page 3. The next 50 auctions of the last 93. Only managed to hit around 786k on this page. That's mostly due to the sales being a lot of enchants rather than Dark Moon decks on this page. Still, we had some pretty solid sales. Sold the Fathoms for 75.5k here. And it looks like I sold one for 87.8k here. And then a lot of blockades, squalls, and tide sales in between. As far as BOE sales, I did sell one of the Agua's Band of Augury. That's the BOE Mastery Ring. And I got 228k for that one. Pretty awesome flip, since I only paid 100k for it. So easily more than doubled my gold from one BOE flip. And the profit from that is enough to pay for one WoW token, so... One good investment, and you can pay for a WoW token every month. Nothing else really stands out on this page, so I'm going to go ahead and loot it, and we'll take a look at the last page. So here's page 4, or the last 43 auctions. A little bit better than the last page. Managed to hit a little under 800k, and we're sitting at 792.1k on this page. Just a lot more enchant sales than pages 1 and 2, so the number isn't quite as high. So we did have some really solid sales on the Fathoms. Managed to sell one here at 91 or 90.2k rather. Another one at 90.2k. So really good sales on the Dark Moon decks. And we did sell that second Glaives, as I mentioned earlier. I think it was on page 1. I sold the second one for 134.3k. So the same price. And as I said earlier, I ended up picking up both of those for... I wrote down 50k in my notes, so... Nice 84k profit on both of those. So pretty close to like... What is that, 170k profit for the two? And yeah, that's gonna put us... between the 4 pages... first page was 1.51 million, second page was 1.2, page 3 was 786k, and then this page is 792k, so we're sitting at around 4.3 million gold in sales in around 12 days. I thought it was closer to 10 days, but looks like some of these auctions are around 12 days old, so pretty good, like 300 to 400k gold in sales per day. And I did miss a bunch of sales over the weekend, as I said, since I was out. So as you may have seen, I'm not doing anything particularly complex when it comes to gold making. I do have multiple accounts to help me be more efficient with stuff like shuffling and relisting auctions. And I do also try and follow a routine and exercise a bit of common sense to help me buy materials for cheap, then turn them into items to sell at a profit. I've also been flipping BOEs for several expansions now, and that has been a huge part of my gold income, especially with 101s back in Legion. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, thank you to my patrons for your support. Hope you guys are all having a great week, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Late.